7:30. Welcome back to BT on this Monday morning. 6 people are dead, 5 others in critical condition after a mass shooting in Quebec City last night in what the Prime Minister is calling a terrorist attack. 2 masked men entered a mosque during evening prayers and began firing their weapons into a crowd of people. The suspects were arrested shortly after the attack. 6 people killed, range in age from about 39 to 60 years of age. A joint terrorism task force, including provincial police and the RCMP, is now investigating what happened. Solidarity rallies are expected right across Quebec today to support the province's Muslim community.
Quebec City today has been hit by terrorism. Hard to believe in such a peaceful, beautiful city that such a thing could happen, but it has happened, obviously. 6 persons have lost their lives. 8 persons have been wounded, some of them very seriously.
MPs get back to work in the House of Commons today after their month-and-a-half-long winter break, and a local MP wants to have an emergency debate over the latest actions from U.S. President Donald Trump. Andrea McPherson is live this morning in East Vancouver with the details. Andrea.
Good morning, Kyle. Here we are in front of NDP MP Jenny Kwan's office here in East Vancouver. And as you know, she is calling for an emergency debate in the House of Commons over the travel ban that was brought in by Donald Trump's executive orders on Saturday. And with this, we know that people from Iran, Iraq, Sudan, Somalia, Syria, Yemen, and Libya will be prevented from entering the U.S. And several questions still remain on how this will affect Canadians who happen to maybe hold a secondary passport to one of those countries. Jenny Kwan's been writing a letter with some very strong statements as well. She said she's deeply distressed by the reincarnation of what she calls race-based immigration policies not seen since the Second World War. A ban against individuals based on race, religion, or country of birth implemented by our closest neighbor cannot be tolerated. Here's what she also said in Vancouver yesterday.
We need to devise a strong strategy in dealing with this issue. The United States is our closest ally. They're just right next door to us, and it's simply not acceptable that this is taking place. And so I'm calling for an emergency debate in the House of Commons.
And this debate, she says, will hopefully allow parliamentarians to come up with some sort of strategy for Canada to deal with this situation. That's something a lot of people continue to call for as the political turmoil continues stateside. Kyle.
All right, Andrea McPherson live in East Vancouver. Thanks, Andrea. Protests have broken out all over the world since Trump's executive order came into effect over the weekend.
Donald Trump, go away!
Racist, sexist, anti-gay.
Donald Trump, go away!
Thousands of people took to the streets of New York City. This demonstration, one of the larger ones across the U.S. People gathered at Battery Park within sight of the Statue of Liberty. They then marched to the U.S. Customs and Border Protection Office in Lower Manhattan.
Protest the proposed ban on immigration and refugees from Muslim countries because it's anti-American and unconstitutional to discriminate against people of a certain religion.
We want to reach people to tell them that this is the American way, that we are an inclusive society created by immigrants, and that what Trump is doing is un-American.
Immigrants are welcome here, no hate, no fear.
The Peace Arch border crossing was also packed with protesters from both Canada and the U.S. taking a stand against the so-called Muslim ban. More than 1,000 people gathered to send a strong message to President Donald Trump. The 2-hour demonstration was organized by Americans in Washington State, but many Canadians made the trip to join in.
I just said we need to gather at the Peace Arch and show that we're better than this, that we need to be come together and show that our community still wants to be a welcoming community.
We are standing up for what we believe in, and we do not believe in our president's proclamation of excluding people from this country.
I think my standing here tells me what I think of it, and I'm very happy to be standing with all of these people here.
And I can't state more strongly how badly I feel about it and how embarrassed I am to be represented by this president.
There were tearful scenes at airports right across the U.S. over the weekend as many people who had just landed were denied entry.
I'm feeling a little bit I'm sad. That's it. I want to say I'm sad. I don't know what happened, who's on that on, but I feel sad. That's it.
Trump's order hit a roadblock late Saturday after a federal judge allowed stranded travelers to stay in the U.S., but by that time, families had already been split up. Legal permanent residents with passports from these 7 banned countries are also affected by Trump's order. They have to be cleared back into the United States on a case-by-case basis. But it was a dramatic end to Trump's first week in office, causing anger, frustration, and fear for people all over the world.
I don't know what I have to do. We don't know from the Iranian country they do something like this, but we didn't know we're going to have the same situation here. I'm a U.S. citizen about 15, 20 years old, and my brother didn't do nothing wrong in no place in the world, and I didn't do nothing wrong. I'm a contractor. I'm working hard here. I'm building a house for the people, the American people, and I'm American too.
Ottawa is trying to clear up any confusion Canadians may have about the impact of Donald Trump's travel ban. Immigration Minister Ahmed Hussein says the federal government worked hard all weekend to get further clarification from Washington. The White House says Canadians with dual citizenship or valid residency cards can still enter the United States. However, Canada will offer temporary residency to people stranded as a result of Trump's executive order.
The American administration has confirmed that Canadian dual nationals are not affected by this executive order. Moreover, we've been assured by the White House that Canadian permanent residents with a valid Canadian permanent resident card and passport from those 7 countries